It's an interesting time for the Chicago Blackhawks atop the Central Division, one of the top two teams in the NHL, now that we have wrangled control away from one Mike Milbury. This roster bolstered, boosted up even more with offensive talent with the addition of Braden Point. And of course, still Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews still here. Some concerns with the likes of Dominic Kubalik. And taking a look at the comments of the last episode, of course, we had the question of do we get rid of him. I've changed up the third line, and now we're running Kubalik as a sniper and Fost as a playmaker rather than all three being two ways, because we do have that much offensive talent. You know, Kubalik isn't the best defensive player in the world. He's at least okay. It's the shot blocking that really kind of takes that down a little bit. But I mean, you see Fost too. Like, he's decent defensively. I'm fairly certain if he had an 85 in defensive awareness, he'd be 3.5, if not 4-star. So it's a bit of an interesting situation there in terms of both of them being, you know, borderline closer to 3.5-star. Point being, we're going to see if that helps. You know, defensively, despite having Brendan Smith, which, you know, Milbury forced me to have him on this team, not to play him, but to have him on this team alongside Jesper Fost, but we give him an opportunity, and next to Casey Fitzgerald, he's done pretty well. So, you know, heading into this episode, it was okay. You know, for the most part, we could make a change offensively. Defensively, we're probably fine, and it's true, we're in a similar spot to where we were 2 years ago when we acquired Boone Jenner. You know, we have plenty of depth in the minors right now for both forwards and defense that could be given an opportunity. You know, and the thing is, they wouldn't even have to be all that successful. The rest of the team, especially that top six, should be good enough to boost this team to great heights. The question heading into this season was goaltending. Mackenzie Blackwood's been pretty solid. Ben Bishop, not so much. Now, it's February 1st, and the question, and really the response, has been, okay, maybe look to move on from Ben Bishop, get a different backup goalie. So the question, of course, is, well, who's out there in terms of backup goalies that might be available? And we're going to start by looking on the trade block, because obviously it would be nice to not have to spend an arm and a leg to get another decent option as a backup goalie. If there's nobody here, I think we're going to give Bishop a couple of weeks, see if he can kind of turn it around a little bit. I mean, a couple of good performances. Sergei Bobrovsky, huh? 3 years left on that deal. No, thank you. Although at his age, how old is he in 2024? 35. Whew. Oh, he's in Springfield. That's why. Wow, they have him in the AHL. That's crazy. You know, I mean, no, I can't afford to take on Bobrovsky. Obviously, we're like so far up against the cap, but it would be interesting. Montreal with a 36-year-old Carey Price there was down to an 80. Well, he's not doing all that well in the NHL either. Unfortunate. Of course, they're just far too expensive. Felix Sandstrom, who's been in the AHL, of course, normally a Flyers goalie. New Jersey with Peter Mrazek, who we had last year on a one-year deal. How's he doing? Not that great. Obviously, in the playoffs for us, he was a pretty big disappointment. Thomas Greiss, someone else. Oh, my God. Okay, Bridgeport, I was going to say. Someone else who has been on this team at one point. Joonas Korpisalo on an expiring deal. What do his numbers look like? Holy hell, yes. Yes, please. Okay, Ottawa, we're going to be, we'll be right back. We'll be right back. Yeah, that's an option. Hunter Jones is an option, as is Marc-Andre Fleury. Flower not doing that great in the AHL. Jones has been okay. Obviously, Jones with that starter potential could be a little bit better. Frederick Anderson, 5 years left. No, thank you. Nobody in Vancouver. Vegas, nobody. I mean, Capo Kakkonen, but it doesn't really fit what we're looking for. So if we wanted to get a safety net right now in goal, I mean, Joonas Korpisalo is the guy. And I got to be honest, I think I'd rather pull the trigger on this now than wait and see what happens, you know? I do still want to give Bishop an opportunity. Right now we have 6 goalies signed, but if I use Harkins, who at 22 is not that good, Koivu even at 20, it's looking a bit shaky. But if I use Harkins, We have the cap space to pull this off from the looks of it. Use Harkins, get a draft pick back, because again, unlike in the LA series, there's no limitations. And for anyone who watches, is keeping up with that series as well, yes, I made a mistake in that LA episode. Next episode of the Kings series will be up tomorrow. And yeah, trust me, I'm aware, and I'm going to have to pay the price for that dumb mistake. That said, in terms of who to use here, I'm just seeing if there's anyone who's kind of worth moving on cap-wise. Just because, again, Foss would be great. No second. Whistle still good. Quenneville still good. The only guy I could really look to move on from is Siegenthaler, but it says we have 1.6 in cap, so we should be okay. So I think I'm going to use Harkins. We're going to bring in Korpisalo. We might still give Bishop a chance. I think I might just keep both of them on roster just to see what happens. This probably won't go through, but if it does, it's totally worth it. Quite far off. Okay, can I get a 3rd round pick next year? If that goes through, still totally worth it. There we go. Gangbusters, you say. We'll see. Ottawa, I mean, again, that's fully taking advantage of the AI. Will Harkins is garbage. We're bringing Korpisalo, who's doing very well at the NHL level, and also bringing a 3rd round pick. So for Mr. Korpisalo, we're going to be calling him up. I'm probably going to make him the backup immediately. And then probably just keep Ben Bishop. It makes more sense for us to keep Ben Bishop and to keep our options open than it does to try and get anything of value for him. It's like, what's the point? Oh, we're going to have an extra second. It's not really needed. But I think Ben Bishop, for the moment, is now going to be a healthy scratch. And we're going to keep an eye on how things go for Joonas Korpisalo. So, we talked about it just a few minutes ago in terms of the depth of forward and defense. Now the depth in goal. 3 guys who, could carry. I mean, even Korpisalo, like a low-end starter at this point, even though he's listed as a backup. So we'll see how this goes. 32 wins. Again, it's a leap year in 2024. Yeah, no, that's... high elite, though. What? Hold on a second. There's no way I'm going to do this, but... Duke Morales, who was a 3rd round pick, 59 medium elite, and Victor Trafford for Ned Eakin, who was the number 4 overall pick in 2021. 33 goals this year. Jesus. Fits in on the 2nd line. Huh. And a 1st, but still, to trade for a player of that caliber, we ditched Jamie Alexiak at the end of the year. Fits in on our defense, though. Huh. 1st round pick next year. A medium elite who is likely to never make it. I mean, really, when you think about it, 59 overall at 18 years old, it's going to be a stretch for him to make it. You pick someone like that for their value. How would Eakin fit in? Because it would be Eakin, DeBrincat, Point, Strome, Doc, Kubalik, or Nylander. Because obviously Patty Kane is not due, to be on his team long term. And of course, with DeBrincat, we're also worried. Damn. The only way this trade is worth it is if I could guarantee us a victory this year, so that I could be the one to handle this offseason. Granted, we could look to re-sign him now. That would be a huge risk. And I would, if I do this, would have to potentially look at trading a Nylander this year, because we wouldn't be able to guarantee that he'd stay. Huh. I mean, I'm not afraid of giving up a 1st round pick at all. Trafford, I mean, is solid, but he's probably going to cap out around an 82 or 83. It's my guess. Especially as the defensive D-man, that overall is weighted heavily by the physical play. Out of nowhere, Montreal gives us an offer for one of the best young players in the league, and obviously our top 4 is locked down. Pulock and Jones, both 29. Ned Eakin, 20 years old, 33 goals this year, had 69 points last year after putting up 110 points in 66 games. He's a member of the Ottawa 67s in his junior year. Is this player too good to pass up? 99 shooting and everything. Oh my God. I don't think I can pass up this trade. Montreal out of nowhere, offering us a blockbuster. I would have to take back Alexiak. Actually, I wouldn't even have to take back Alexiak. I could if I wanted to. He's not even necessary, but having Jamie Alexiak as a healthy scratch this year, that's a very interesting player to have as an option, especially because he fits in with this team. Of course, you would think, like, okay, pull Alexiak out of there and go for somebody else, but it works because they want to get rid of Alexiak. Man, Montreal is in fire sale mode right now. Holy crap. Zibanejad, Zahab, Lafreniere, Gallagher, Suzuki, Tatar. The only guy they're looking to hold on to, a guy named Tarnqvist and Kokaniemi. Montreal is in full fire sale mode right now. Holy hell. I have never seen anything like that. A team with that many good forwards in full fire sale mode. Like, that is an insane team. What the hell are they doing? Oh my god. Obviously, it's like, you look at Lafreniere and it's like, that'd be nice. Even then, that contract is still pretty nice now. Oh, that changes things. Eakin has an extension. 6 years at 8.1. That changes things quite a bit. Okay, we're going to back out for the moment because I could always go to the trade finder and go to Eakin. Let's stop it after this Winnipeg game. 11-2. Jesus Christ, how bad are the Jets? How much money do we have heading into next year? That's the question. Montreal has just completely turned the plan for this episode upside down. In terms of expiring deals, Patrick Kane, we have $31 million to work with. Kaner right now is looking for about $8 million. Kubalik is not looking like he's going to want to re-sign. He's not even looking for that much money, though, so that's a steal of a deal, regardless. Nylander's going to be looking for $5 million, but he's still an RFA. And then goalie-wise, Mackenzie Blackwood proving that he might be worth re-signing beyond this year. So we have plenty of money to work with right now. Damn. Oh my god. Do we take advantage of the Montreal fire sale out of nowhere that could potentially screw with the chemistry of this team? I mean, it definitely could. But, you know, again, it was 81 chemistry, I think, for this team at the start of this episode. But again, just Montreal in full fire sale. So it's like looking at like Nikita Gusev. It's like, yeah, it's not really a part of the plan. We've used Gusev before. Like Buchnevich Pearson, that doesn't make sense. But Montreal is shopping top-notch talent, which we have. But again, there's the question of what the hell is Alex DeBrincat going to be looking for money-wise? And is he going to want to re-sign? Montreal appears to be the only team in true fire sale mode right now. Barry and Doughty looking to be moved from Los Angeles. Dumba, Galchenyuk, Butcher. Good for Galchenyuk hanging in there around an 87. Again, though, we don't need a top 4 improvement. Like, would that be a move for the sake of a move? I just want to check other teams to see what the hell's going on. I mean, there's a chance. Okay, the Islanders really looking to move on from everybody as well. It's at least worth exploring. Okay, like, is this worth it? I mean, obviously our team's set up incredibly well. Pittsburgh also looking to sell. Wow, Brian Rust's value. Jesus Christ. Jason Zuckers as well as maxed. That's insane. The joys of the morale system, man. Tampa, Toronto. Toronto. Jeremy Bracco sitting out the year. So, Montreal. Obviously, it is an insane amount of talent that's available. It's just, does anybody there fit in? Oh, damn, I didn't mean to back out all the way. Does anybody there fit in with what we're doing? Because when you talk about our top 6 currently, hopefully the plan is DeBrincat, Point, Strome, Doc, and then really it could be whoever. Kubalik, Nylander fit in. Obviously, Kane and Taves are here for now. But in terms of like top-notch prospects, we don't really have them right now. You know, a 5th money option for that second line could prove to work out. It's just, does it make sense for us to take advantage of the Montreal fire sale? And again, so let's take a look here. So defenseman matching the block. They're getting rid of John Klingberg too. Keeping a hold of Brooke Mete-Julson though. So for the forwards. Actually, hold on. Defenseman one more time. There's Brodin and Carlson next to Alexiak. Fair. So forward-wise, again, Mika Zibanejad. 5-year deal. How long has he been a Hab for? Goes from the Rangers back to Canada. First year in Montreal. Over point a game, too. Good stuff from Mika. I mean, obviously, the intriguing ones are Eakin and Lafreniere. You know, Gallagher at 31, making way too much money. Way too much money. So Zibanejad fits in on our second line. Eakin fits in on the second line. Lafreniere only fits in on our fourth line, at least well. But again, he's already making $7 million for the next, or $9 million for the next 7 years. And then Eakin's making $8 million for what was it, 6 years after this? Yeah. And then taking a look at the other deals, Suzuki's on 3 years. On a pretty good deal, though, for Nick Suzuki. He's not having the best year in the world. Fits in on our top line, but he'll never really have a perfect spot for us. It's obviously Lafreniere and Eakin that are the very interesting options here. For Lafreniere, there isn't a trade that they like. What about for Eakin, though? Okay, now they're saying that there's not a trade they're interested in. I mean, I obviously remember the pieces. Do you pass up on a 90 overall 20-year-old high elite who's making $8 million for 6 years? And then Lafreniere, of course, at $9 million. We have 30 some odd million to work with. I think what I have to do is go to these contracts. We have to work out who's staying and who's going and make the best of it. So Mackenzie Blackwood, that's not necessarily ideal, but he's done well enough, I would say. At a 9-10. I'm just trying to figure out the timing of this. Do I want to trust Mackenzie Blackwood for at least next season? And I think I do. Ben Bishop are obviously going to let go of. And then Korpisalo, I don't know. But he has done pretty well. But Blackwood, I'm hesitant to get him a 4-year deal to. But I do wonder if he'll go 1 year at 5. Even then, though, it just looks like so much. I mean, we are paying him 4. Bishop's at 5.9, so it's a bit of a tough call. For the defense, Hall, Gilbert, Siegenthaler, like all of these guys are going. I mean, with the exception of, like, we might want to re-sign Regula, who's an RFA. Honestly, I'll look to do that. We'll see if he'll sign that deal, the former London Knight. The rest of them can go. For the wings, Jesper Fast is going to go. Alex Nylander might be worth trading because long term, that's a risky deal. That's a pretty risky deal for him. I mean, again, if he was right here, cool, but he only had 35 points last year. He's on 36 this year. Handing him close to $5 million is a pretty big risk. Patty Kane, we don't yet know. He's looking for a lot. Kubalik is not going to make a renegotiation easy, unfortunately. Sorella, I want to try to bring back. Hagel, I want to try to bring back. Might as well just sign him as a long-time AHL option. And then for our centers, Jake Wise certainly needs to come back. We'll go 1-year deal for him. So then Nosek I'm not against keeping as a fourth liner. Oh, he's looking for a great deal too. Whew, yeah, 2 years is the sweet spot. Also looking for a 2-way deal. Yeah, no, if Tomas is willing to sign that, I am 100% for it. So it's just a matter of, like, okay, do I try to keep Taves and Kane now? Taves is looking for nothing. You know what? Let's break out the old calculator app on the old desktop here, and let's just see, with an 85% option, if Taves is willing to drop that down to 235. If it is, then yeah, captain's sticking around. When it comes to Patrick Kane, I think same thing, another 1-year deal. We're kind of going like Thornton Marlowe territory with these two, where it's like, okay, you're coming back? Cool, 1-year deal. 715. if Patrick Kane signs for 715, I mean, I think we have to explore this option. Kubalik, it's at least worth trying to get him under contract now. 2 years seems to be the sweet spot. 285 is still a pretty big steal. Now, I don't think he's going to be willing to take a pay cut. I'm still going to try. And then even for Alex Nylander, the only issue with him is he only wants to sign for 1 year. And that would be the last year. You know, this is his last year as an RFA. But if we double check and sign everybody, then I'll know for sure what the money situation is heading into next year, and we'll know for sure if we're going to be able to sign these guys and make this happen. So there might still be room for a deal with Montreal. We'll find out very, very soon once these guys get back to us. Jonathan Toews signs for dirt cheap. Alex Nylander signs. Tomas Nosek, Brandon Hagel, Alex Regula, Jake Wise, Antti Sorella. So we're just waiting for Patrick Kane. We play a struggling Ottawa team. Patrick Kane signs for dirt cheap. Kubalik, unsurprisingly, rejects. And we beat the Sens as well. Locker room chemistry at an 82. So how much money do we have? There was the thought of potentially trading Kubalik, and if we can use him to get a top-notch player from the Habs, there's no reason to not do it. So again, I'm cool with Jesper Fast leaving. I'm cool with everybody else on that list leaving, David Kampf included. We didn't send a deal to Blackwood. Kubalik, we still have $20 million left. Oh my God. So Kubalik, even if he only signs for that much, let's give him $3 million. I think regardless, we're probably going to sign Mackenzie Blackwood. Although I do want to see who the upcoming free agents are in goal to see if there's anybody out there. Are there any big names about to hit the market? Okay. The answer is potentially yes. Samsonov, Carter Hart, Hellebuck, a guy named Chipchura who's definitely an RFA, Kemper, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I don't know if we have to commit to Mackenzie Blackwood right now, but the problem is I am not in charge of that offseason. Let's see what happens with Kubalik. And again, we'll still have time. There's no way that Montreal's in second, by the way. And that's an insane trade. Benson and Cassian to Dallas for Rupe Hintz, Eric Chernak, and Miles Wood. Montreal was in second place in their division, by the way. Still in second. Yet they're considering this fire sale. We beat Vancouver in overtime. Kubalik rejects. Right. So again, looking at the team right now, I just think, with Kubalik, we're going to have to pay him like $3.5. And based off the season he's having, obviously he's not worth it. He's had power play time this year, has he not? He hasn't currently. Okay, so that's been the big struggle for him. He hasn't had power play time because I've been trying to give it to our younger defenseman. And he's really struggled without it. I know he's played 11 minutes a game. But, offensively, you're still playing next to Jonathan Toews. 13. You remove that, that's 36 points. I guess it kind of, or not fucking 36 points. I'm going to penalty minutes. Can you tell I'm tired? And that's why I'm second guessing everything. Oh, God. Okay. I liked this better when there was no second guessing because I didn't know Montreal was trying to blow up their team. I liked it a lot better. A lot better. Nylander on 36 points. God, if we bring in that dude from Montreal, bump Nylander down to the third line next to Fost and Toews, and have that other dude in the top six instead of Dom Kubalik, what does this team look like? How much does that affect chemistry? Is the question. Let's go take a look at Montreal again. My hope is that they've changed their mind. It doesn't look like they have. Eakin's still there. Yeah, Eakin and Lafreniere are both still there. I mean, obviously one's franchise, but Lafreniere is also 2 years older and a point weaker. Eakin has the potential to go franchise. He has 35 goals. I mean, you want to talk about a potential Patrick Kane replacement. It's Ned Eakin. We have to explore a trade for this guy. We absolutely have to. And again, I think Dominic Kubalik is the guy to use because at least Nylander was willing to re-sign. But if we use Kubalik here, it would put Montreal over the cap. Not that I couldn't then just retain on Kubalik if need be, or we take back Alexiak, even though he'd be a scratch. Yeah, we could just retain on Kubalik for the rest of the year. I mean, Eakin's a full value player that we can sneak. He's under contract already. Cap-wise, we're doing well because Kane and Taves are willing to, willing to take a little bit of a discount. I'd rather give up Repic than Morales. There's no reason to not do this. There really isn't. We have the means to pull it off. I mean, Zibanejad, I like Mika Zibanejad, but under contract for 5 more years. He's 30 years old. Obviously we have a younger core. So Eakin makes more sense than Zibanejad or Gallagher if we were going to make a move. And obviously it's like, okay, Suzuki, sure, great player, but why go for Suzuki when you can go for Lafreniere? Why go for Lafreniere when you can go for this guy? It just kind of adds up that way. And yeah, we'd be cheesing the system a little bit, but Montreal is also incredibly dumb for trying to fire sale their team when they're in a playoff spot. Holy shit, I did not think it was going to go through for that cheap. We use that one prospect and Dominic Kubalik to acquire Ned Eakin. The team is not happy with me trading Kubalik. I cannot believe that just went through. I guess I was undervaluing Kubalik's. I mean, you saw me safety net with a 4th, but I'm like, okay, that's still not going to be close. We just absolutely stole Montreal's best player. Holy hell. Legitimately just stole Montreal's best player. What the hell is this team going to look like now? Again, I think we'll go Nylander, Taves, Fost. And then we're looking at Kane, Eakin, and Doc. Oh my god. Probably have Doc at center. I mean, Kane and Eakin on the same line. 2 guys with 5-star shooting. Anyone really struggling to score? And help DeBrincat is crushing it. I mean, that top 6 is absolutely disgusting. And we still probably won't win the Stanley Cup this year. Dominic Kubalik's out. And it made sense. He was kind of struggling. He didn't really want to look to re-sign. It just sucks because we built up good momentum with him. And then Mike totally fucked it up for us. Again, I think I'm going to sit Bishop. We'll go with Korpisalo. So money-wise, in terms of re-signing, how the hell do you figure to put Taves, Fost... what is that power play? What is this game even doing? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. All right, well, first and foremost, Fost is going to be out. Kane and Strome are there, right? Yeah, Kane and Strome are there. We don't need Quenneville. Centers, we need Eakin. Point is there. Doc is there. And then take Quenneville out. Could put in Nylander. I think I want to go more with the defenseman, though. So... we have Jones, Boakfist, and we're going to want Dylan on that team. To be honest, I'm not against taking Taves off the power play. Just have him be a specialist. We'll go with Ryan Pulock and go with our defense. So just to double check here, I think I want to go based off of points. Yeah, no, we want to go with Dylan and Pulock on that top unit, although... I can't help it. I want 590 overall players on the same power play. I can't help it. I want it. I want it, and it's what I'm going to get. Who's a better face-off, man, between Strome and Eakin? It's going to be Strome. That is the most absurd power play unit I have ever seen. And then somehow Kirby Dach with 4 defensemen is actually kind of decent. But we'll put... What will we do here, actually? We'll take out Jones. We'll put in Taves. We'll take out Boqvist. And we'll put in Alex Nylander. And I don't really care about Jesper Fast. So that'll be that particular setup. That is absolutely absurd. And then for the penalty kill, it's looking good. Wow. What are the implications of that type of a pickup? Because we've seen before, like, okay, but here's Boone Jenner, and it didn't exactly work. Our locker room chemistry is only down 2 points. But we just picked up a 90 overall player for a player we're never going to use, and Dominic Kubalik, who didn't want to re-sign. And then when you talk about now the contract situation, we still have $13 million to figure out the goaltending. Which I think I'm going to have to sign Bishop, because I don't trust. What it will probably be is we're going to see what happens in the playoffs. If we win the Stanley Cup, I don't have to re-sign Blackwood or Korpisalo. The second we get bounced from the playoffs, I sign Mackenzie Blackwood, at the very least. At the very least, to make sure that we have a half-decent goalie for the next year, because there's a chance Mike could screw it up for us. But regardless, we just pulled off an absolutely ridiculous steal to get Ned Eakin from Montreal, former 4th overall pick. We have a 99 rated offense. DeBrincat still leading the way. I mean, is this overkill? Is that going to mess with the locker room chemistry too much? I mean, we're about to find out. Michael Schutz is back from injury. No thanks, I don't want Vince Dunn. We lose our first game, 6-3 to Pittsburgh, because of course we did. Play Washington, we win 7-3. We're still, of course, the top team in the Central by a decent amount. I still think defensively we're fine. Yeah, I'm not really interested in getting rid of a ton of stuff. I got to clear out the trade block. But like we talked about it, forward-wise now, if there's injuries, we're good. Like, we have the depth from within. Could we improve on Jesper Fast? Sure. He's been fine, though. He's been fine. You know, and getting somebody even better than him, what are they going to do? Like, they're not going to do much better than he's done in terms of, you know, oh, you play 12 minutes per night. It's the same thing with that third pairing. Of course it could be better in terms of overall, but with the limited amount of time they're playing, they're thriving under those circumstances. Jonas Korpisalo, have you played a game for us yet? You have. You have 2 wins in 3 games and a .913 save percentage. Okay. There's a good chance Jonas Korpisalo is going to keep his job here as well. So for now, I mean, we're good. Just let me go clear out the trade block, and we're fine. I mean, Jesus, if this team wasn't set before, out of nowhere, Montreal deciding to blow their team up while they're in a playoff spot, it completely changed the entire outlook of what this episode was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, okay, you know, we might trade Ben Bishop, sit into the end, playoff time, baby. And that's not, that is not how this has gone down at all. So let's do this, though. This roster's certainly set now. We get some goaltending insurance. Defensively, I think we have the depth in the minors to pull it off. It's Kempe Wagner in a 4th for a 1st and a prospect named Hammerlick, although we have lost 2 out of our last 3 games since the trade. Another game against the Penguins as Severson dealt back to New Jersey. Can we beat Pittsburgh, please? Gustav Nyquist and a 3rd for Shillington, and a 2nd. Wow, we lost to Pittsburgh twice. Okay, that was a brutal week for us in the aftermath of that trade. Maybe there's a bit too much offensive firepower now. We beat Dallas 4-3. We lose to Vegas, held to just 1 goal. We lose to Carolina. Uh-oh. A good win there, but maybe we messed up the chemistry. I mean, we only took 2 points, 2-point hit. You'd think this power play would just be dominant, but maybe there's too many cooks. Aho and Lawton for Scheifele and Coleman. Jesus. As we get crushed by Dallas. And Bushnevich for Uyghur. And wow, Jesus Christ. We were terrible in the aftermath of that trade. Huh. You know, that's always the risk. I mean, again, I still think it makes sense to bring Eakin on, but how has he done since he's arrived? 8 points in 10 games, 7 goals, defensively struggling a little bit. Maybe he and Kane just aren't a great fit for one another. How's Strome doing on the top line? He's still doing pretty well. I mean, they're all doing pretty well. I guess the question is Kane a better fit on that top line? The answer is slightly. Point's a better fit on that second line. Point's a big assist guy. Doc's a good in-between. You know, I'm intrigued. It's not going to hurt Braden Point that much. Let's make that switch, and then obviously Strome will play center between Kane and DeBrincat. And then Nylander's not a great fit on that third line, but, you know, with that top six, we should just be dominating. Goalie-wise, wow, Mackenzie Blackwood's tanking. He's the reason. He has really been struggling lately. Joonas Korpisalo as well only has a .903 in 4 appearances now, so the goaltending hasn't been on point. Maybe the team just in front of them defend. Oh my God, Adam Boqvist, what are you doing defensively, man? That third pairing also really started to get ripped apart too. So yeah, just defensively, we've been struggling quite a bit. Okay, Brendan, you know, I thought it was working out. I don't know if it is. I think Casey is good enough to be here. What if we put Fitzgerald with Jones, Smith with Adam Boqvist might have to go. He's not a good fit on that third pair at all. He's such a good defenseman. Just doesn't play a physical game, but he has been brutal this year. Like, he and Seth Jones just don't get along, and obviously it makes no sense whatsoever to have Seth Jones on a lower pairing. I really don't want to get rid of Boqvist and potentially screw things up even more. He's good with Quenneville, Doc, and Entwistle, and still on a really good contract. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. Aside from just hoping that he figures it out, which isn't ideal. We're going to stick with it. I think that's one big move too many. I mean, if Boqvist chokes here, then so be it. But the defense and the goaltending has to be better. I'm going to stick with this team in its current form. We're going to go past the deadline. We're locked in. The big deal, of course, bringing in Joonas Korpisalo and bringing in Ned Eaton. Brent Burns. I mean, obviously, if I could guarantee he'd retire, and if he was about 17 overall points better, I'd go for him. But that era in San Jose is over as we get ready to play the Sharks, and we win 4-2. We play a pretty good Colorado team. We win 7-1. Home and home with the Avs. We need to look to win another one. We do, 7-6. We play a pretty bad Detroit team. Rivalry game here. We get the win. We play a pretty strong Maple Leafs team. We lose 2-1, but still a good bit of momentum there now through 69 games. The sex number. A brutal Calgary team. We win 4-0. A brutal Jets team. Montreal still in a playoff spot, by the way. A brutal Jets team that we beat. A really good Carolina team that we can hopefully beat. The answer is yes. A very good Washington team. A really good Washington team. We beat them in the shootout. Washington on 105 points. They are the only other team, along with, us and Pittsburgh, actually, have all broken 100 points. We have clinched a playoff spot. Of course, last year we made it and fell in the first round. Thanks, Mike. We beat St. Louis. Kirby Dach still leading the way in points. So we get ready to play the New York Islanders before heading back home. We lose in a shootout. Pity point helps, though. And we win 5-4 in regulation. Colorado, 39-win team. They can't earn win number 40. We have one more game left in the month of March. That is against a decent Anaheim team fighting for their playoff lives. And we win. We have clinched the top seed in the Western Conference on 109 points. No other Western team has hit 100 points yet. And we are just 1 point back of Washington for the President's Trophy race, as we'll be playing LA to kick things off here in April. We win 7-0. we get ready to play Minnesota. 46-win Wild team. Pretty good. They beat us 3-2. And then we get to play the most interesting team I think I've ever seen in the Montreal Canadiens at United Center. We lose 7-5. Go figure. Our final game of the season is against that brutal Winnipeg team, and we win 3-0. So with that, the regular season has come to a close. 53 wins for your Chicago Blackhawks, the top record in the Western Conference, the third best record in the NHL. Minnesota, Nashville, Colorado, and St. Louis all make the playoffs. So obviously, we will be playing the St. Louis Blues in the first round. And again, Winnipeg was brutal. In the Pacific, it's Vegas, Edmonton, and Anaheim. So the haves and the have-nots. Again, Calgary and Arizona, both brutal as well. Montreal still made the playoffs despite fire selling their team. Toronto, Tampa, and Buffalo also made it. Florida and Boston were just brutal. And in the Metro, Washington, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and the Flyers all make it as well. So again, the third best team in the league. Winnipeg, the bottom of the barrel, didn't even hit 60 points. Goals for per game. Memes all around. The only team to average more than 4 goals a game. Our goals against average was at a 3.0 even, which was mid-table. Our power play was second best in the league at a 27.8. Our penalty kill at 82.4, which was near the top 10. Columbus was terrible. In terms of the point totals, Patrick Kane doing Patrick Kane things. He's already committed to coming back next year. 94 points, 46 goals for Kaner. That's insane. Kirby Dach, 93 points. Alex DeBrincat, 92. So the line that, finished the season as our top line, it wasn't always that, of course. Actually, no, Kirby Dach was on the second line. What am I saying? 27 points on the power play. It's, of course, Dylan Strome, who's on that line with 90 points, but still 4 90-point players this season. 2 of them 40-goal scorers. That's outrageous. Ned Eakin finished the year with 57 goals and 86 points. He scored 31 points in 28 games, scored 22 goals as a member of the Chicago Blackhawks. I think I made a good choice. Braden Point, 85 points. Unbelievable. That top 6 is one of the most offensively potent I've ever seen. Alex Nylander, actually very happy with a 52-point season for him. That's good. Jonathan Toews, 46 points, spectacular. Again, for a guy who was a third liner with very little power play time all year, 46 points is pretty damn good. Of course, Nylander did have power play time as well. John Quenneville on the fourth line with 35 points is spectacular. Jesper Foss, happy with the 30. Spectacular for Entwistle, spectacular for Nosek, and then Alex Fortin, when he played, was great. I don't have a single complaint about anybody offensively. On the defensive side of things, Brandon Dillon and Ryan Pulock are one hell of a pairing. Boqvist, offensively, strong. Plus minus, but it's not brutal. Same for Seth Jones. And then Casey Fitzgerald was great next to Brendan Smith for the majority of the season. And Justin Hall, we know, can step in if need be. The biggest question is goaltending. And you look here, a 901 for Blackwood. Korpisalo finished the year with a 911. He had a 911 for us in general through 9 appearances. I think Blackwood has to be given the chance. And then Ben Bishop's always there, waiting in the wings, maybe get that little veteran boost for the playoffs. But, I mean, this offense, we're going to find out if anybody can stop it. Kirill Kaprizov was spectacular. Chris Tierney was amazing for Ottawa. You had Zucker, Daniel Sprong, and Washington absolutely killing it. So some interesting names here towards the top. Justin Bailey was up there. Not Justin Bailey. Yeah, Josh Bailey. Justin Bailey of the Sabres. I don't know why. Don't know why Justin Bailey came to mind. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, now we're getting crazy if Justin Bailey's way up here. Goal scoring king, Kirill Kaprizov with 64. Ned Eakin with 57. Again, a prospect we're never going to use in a third liner. I think we did pretty well. Defensively, the point leader, John Carlson, Cale Makar, Heiskanen, also up there. Goal scoring king, John Carlson, the only defenseman to break 20 goals. For the goaltenders, Ilya Samsonov, who could be a free agent, won 49 games. Save percentage king, that's not right, but okay. Lucas Fail? What? You know, I can't help but think it doesn't matter who our goalie is, because this can't even sort properly right now. You have Anders Nilsson at 8. It's broken. We've broken everything. For the Calder race, Cam Squires of the Carolina Hurricanes is likely to win it with his 40 goals and 60 points. So all in all, we already know who we're playing. The St. Louis Blues are next. Let me know what you think of the moves we did not make, but more importantly, the moves that we did. Is this roster good enough to overcome the St. Louis Blues? And round number 1, time will ultimately tell. But yeah, the future, the outlook for this team continues to be really, really promising. So Minnesota plays Nashville. We play St. Louis, Edmonton, Anaheim, Vegas, and Colorado. In the East, it is Pittsburgh, the New York Islanders, Washington, Montreal, who again somehow made it. I'll see how Kubalik did. Tampa, Buffalo, Toronto, and Philadelphia. Let's take a look actually at how Dom Kubalik did as a member of the Montreal Canadiens. And before we play them in the playoffs. Finished the season with 39 points. He had 20 points in 28 games. He was in a more promising role there, I'm sure, and it really paid off for him. With that, I thank you guys very much for watching, as per usual. Thank you so much for your support of the channel and of me. It is greatly appreciated. I will see you guys in the next one. Looking forward to seeing what you have to say about this one, of course, though. As per usual, check out everything in the description. Everything you need's there. The Discord server, the Twitch, the social media links. It's all there. As always, a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. I love you all. And thank you so much for your generous support. I will see you all very soon. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Goodbye for now.